Saturday morning, we visited the Wave Hill, New York Public Gardens and was surprised that admission was free on Saturday mornings. We paid for parking and made our way into the gardens. The place was incredible, from the rock garden, conservatory, and the rest. We really enjoyed shooting around here, and I'm not even really a flower person. My main lens was the Nikkor 24-70 2.8e. I had the aperture set to f11 to get more depth of field. Because I don't have a macro lens for the new Nikon camera yet, I put on an extension tube for a few of the shots, but was really happy with the 24-70 without the tubes. Extension tubes move the lens away from the sensor to bring your minimum focusing distance closer. It's not as optically perfect as a real macro lens, but it's a good start if you want to get a macro on a budget. Or if you just don't shoot much macro like me. We did see one mockingbird in the rock garden, and he kept waving his wings while standing on the ledges. I'm not really sure what he was doing. Was he hot and cooling down, or was it a sexy dance to persuade the bugs out of hiding? If you know, please comment below and let me know. These shots were mostly made handheld as tripods weren't allowed in the conservatory. When shooting macro, even at a smaller aperture, depth of field is paper thin and it's really easy to not get as sharp a focus as you'd like, especially throughout the frame. Either way, I was still pretty happy with most of these photographs, at least for video purposes, to show off what to expect at the garden. And we also found out that you can grow electricity. Who knew? We arrived at Great Swamp National Wildlife Refuge about 1 p.m. Not great light. Unfortunately, the photo pickings were really thin. If you're looking for tree sparrows, however, this is the place to be. They were quick and I should have stopped down my aperture because the shots of them jumping out of the boxes were really soft. Oh, and we did see a juvenile robin. Maybe it's time to go. What do you think, Tree Sparrow? By the recommendation of a new friend we met in New York while photographing Manhattanhenge, we picked our sunset spot in a park named the Kingsland Point Park. At the south end of this park is yet another lighthouse called the Tarrytown Light. We arrived just in time to set up tripods and camera gear and started getting the sky as the sun was setting. Standard video was okay. This is 4K at 30 frames per second. I went for an angle that included the bridge and put the sun behind the light for a few seconds of video. Once that was done, I moved the camera to the right to include the sun in the photo, knowing that I can bring out the shadows in the lighthouse if I wanted. These were captured using the time-lapse function of the D850, which stitches the time-lapse into 4K video ready for editing. Duration between shots was 1 second. Once the sun was obscured by the horizon, I stopped my time-lapse and captured a few stills of the lighthouse. These were all at ISO 31, f22, and between 1 and 30 seconds of exposure to blur the water. And that's the end of day 2. Tomorrow, Monday, we head out to Optic, and that may be a short combined video with just a recap of each day. and we'll be back in full swing on Tuesday for our last day in the city at the New York Botanical Gardens.